So what if I told you it's actually pretty easy to learn the chakra systems? My name is Steve, and my superpower in this world is to make complex things pretty simple. I've been doing body work for about 10 years, and what I love to do is teach someone how to unlock their own chakra systems, how to get in touch with their own energetic field, and how to balance things out for themselves and those around them. I feel like that makes the world a much nicer and better place if we all know how to do this ourselves. So in a nutshell, I believe that, a few thousand years ago, before we were able to cut open the body and look at it from an autopsy type perspective, we didn't know that the lymph system funneled into certain places. We didn't know exactly what the duodenum did. We didn't know exactly what the spleen did and all these other places. But what we did learn very quickly early on in human history is that if you put your hand in certain places around the body and you breathe into it and you put special intentions, lives change. That's how faith healing happens. It's all laying on of hands. It brings it all together. And now that we have more layers of information, it's so much simpler, honestly, to begin this work ourselves, because we can start saying, I know what's here and I know what it does. And if I know what it does, I can set an intention. So I work with clients all day long. I do hands-on coaching with individuals who come to me and they say, something's going wonky in my body. My blood test is fine. All of my systems seem to be working, but still something is just in an area. And then usually they say, and I know nothing about energy, and I don't really want to know that much about it. If you can just help me feel better, and then let me leave. So what I do is I start with the things that they know, what everyone knows. The leg bone's connected to the hip bone, right? We begin that song. And I go through layer by layer by layer, and I begin at the feet, all the way from the toes, and work my way up to the crown. So from the toes to the nose plus, right? We go through every sector of the body, and I remind them that this muscle chain begins here. And whenever you, let's say hypothetically, you get into your hips and your thighs and your legs and your calves and those kinds of areas, and we say whenever you feel like, oh gosh, I'm in trouble, or I'm scared, or I'm nervous, you get that pucker factor, right? That's about safety, security, uncertainty, stability. All of those, as an example, go right into that pelvis zone, right at the sphincter, at the base of the tailbone. That's where everything locks up. That happens to align with the root chakra, which deals with safety, security, stability. And so what I do is I show people how to breathe into those areas, how to focus, and how to allow the enteric nervous system, which is the part of the nervous system we can't talk to. It's actually there, but it's its own operating system. That's the one that's always scanning for fight or flight. That's the one that's always scanning for the crooked stick that looks like a snake. It sees it, and then you take 9 steps, and you're like, oh, wait, I didn't need to do that. But your body was there. That's that safety and security level. It's also the root chakra, and I tell you how to communicate with it, how to place your hands in certain places, how to find that medium where communication can go between the Steve that lives in here and the Steve that is down inside here. That is actually, they're 2 different versions of me, and they each have a function. I love to get those into alignment. We start at the root. We go up through the sacral zone, which is about your passions, your joys, your hobbies, your emotions, all of those, the fire of life, up through your solar plexus with power, your heart, which is your compassion, all the way up through the throat, the third eye, the crown, and then how to bring it all together, which one's balance. For instance, if the root chakra is about safety and security and stability here on this planet, as below, so above, you have the crown chakra, which is up here. This is your connection to the divine, to divinity, to whatever you believe is on the other side of this black void that so many wars have been fought over. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you believe that that's got you, that God has you, that whatever your faith system is in is solid and you're good, most of the time it doesn't really matter how you're standing. So as long as you're in balance here, the minute you start getting uncertainty on one, you can see how they can start saying, oh gosh, the more God's got you, the less it matters if your financial situation or your stability or your job situation, all those things, you have less concern because you have faith in the above. And the same thing is true. Once you start losing your faith and you start getting shaky on your spiritual and religious practices, you realize that the world starts crumbling around you, and you start getting more uncertain, and your anxiety is up. So I teach you how to recognize those pieces and bring the various systems back into play. If that's your jam, what I'm going to do is offer an 8-week webinar where we go through all of the systems from the body as a whole, the body as a being, We're going to go through all of the 7 chakras, and we're going to cover everything from what's inside those areas. We're going to cover affirmations that you can say to yourself. We're going to give you tips on writing your own unique affirmations. I'll give you a few for each one of the zones, but then I'll encourage you to say, here are some standard ones. What is it that you are looking for? And I'll ask that open-ended question. And you can take what we've given you, what Pepper and I will give you, and you can write your own affirmations that reply to you. And then once those become things that you're no longer needing, we'll teach you how to build upon that, how to work your way up that ladder, a ladder of chakras all the way from the tailbone to the crown, and then just move forward and thrive and prosper. My goal is for you to really get in, get the education, get the information you're needing, and then get out, go forth, and do good things, shed the light, share the light, and spread that out to the people around you. So if that's your jam, click the link, and we'd love to see you in the webinar.